Modern Don Quixote, he hates the windmills, claiming to protect the birds and whales he says they kill. But don't believe that story, it's really just a shill. He just did not want to see them wild golfing on Scottish hills. A hoax, he said it's all a hoax, when at a press conference or with Milky strokes, changing a storm path with black marker strokes. Confronted with the truth, they say it's all a hoax. Casting mail-in ballots is something that he's done. Now he wants to ban them for each and every one. He claims it's for integrity in each election, but he won't believe the results unless it's him that's won. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax, when at a press conference or with Milky strokes. They'll fool you with distractions like real sugar in Cokes. Confronted with the truth, you'll say it's all a hoax. He promised to release all the Epstein files that caused all the MAGA base to react with smiles. But how long has he put it off? It sure has been a while, and now he's calling this a hoax, protecting pedophiles. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax, when at a press conference or with Milky strokes. He'll keep on gaslighting up until he croaks. Confronted with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax.
Trump piled debt, trillions tall. Promised Mexico would fund that wall. Praised dictators, said they're strong. Had Joe done it, they'd say he's wrong. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd scream foul play. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Goes through crises, storms, and more. Called soldiers losers who died in war. Hired his kids to run D.C. If it was Hunter, they'd scream treachery. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, the numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, Fox News would say I vague. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Love Kim Jong-un, he wrote love letters that take the guns first, lose those rights forever. Signed you spending bills with glee. Had Joe done that, it'd be tyranny. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they shall look today. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Kept secret files, countless untold. Said Putin's word was good as gold. Invited the Taliban to come to U.S. soil. If Joe had done that, they'd all recoil. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, the numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd want him to pay. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Double standards loud and clear. Rules for Trump, but not for peers. What they call treason, if Joe's the name, is patriotism when Donald's to blame. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd shout no way. But Trump did it, so it must be okay.
This just in. A sudden spike in logic levels across the city. Citizens report seeing a man with glasses and a podcast mic.
We go now.
Live to Liberal Dan.
Yo, who you gonna call when Nazi writing's on the wall? Call your man, Liberal Dan, cause you know we got a plan. The right wing talking shit, but he ain't about to quit. He'll take his proton pack and zap your logic cause it's whack. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man, Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall.
It's being reported that Liberal Dan is setting up what appears to be some sort of straw man containment field.
He's calling out your lies with his mic vaporize. Cross the streams in your dreams, bitch, you know that he's too wise. You're like Slimer talking crap, but you walked into his trap. Yo, it's more than entertainment, it's misinformation contained. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man, Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall. The Statue of Liberty, the writing you can't see. So bring the huddled masses, it's a war of the classes. While Trump may think he's Vigo, Dan can cut through that ego. He's got the facts to prove him wrong, got that logic like Egon. Your logic is a ghost, cause you know this chick is toast. When you follow MTG, it's conspiracy, you'll see. There's no need to taser, he's got wit like Occam's razor. Liberal Dan cuts those lies with his Jewish space laser.
It's unbelievable. Liberal Dan just used the literal dog whistle to lure a large group of internet trolls into what is being called a self-collapsing rhetoric singularity. In all my years of reporting, I've never seen anything like this.
So don't call to be a heckler, you ain't no Judge Rexler. He'll bust you like Scolary, cause your logic's looking hairy. Right-wing callers think they're cool, but they sounding just like Zool. You the dog, he the man, and yo, his name is Liberal Dan. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man, Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall. Liberal Dan, Liberal Dan, Liberal Dan.
Proclaimed king, a groper in chief, stealing our country, a crooked orange thief. Faux patriots who are poorly educated, wearing red hats and also unvaccinated. Liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. A failing media that's barely treading water. They're too inept to fight this new world order. Corporate pigs are at the trough, hear the squeals. The swine won't bite the hands that feeds them meals. But Liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. A leftist voice on air, exposing MAGA treason, breaking through their lies with facts, logic, and reason. Unmasking hypocrisy, the truth will be our guide. Call out their lies, justice is on our side. Cause Liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right.
welcome back to Liberal Dan Radio. Talk from the left, that's right. This is your host, Dan Zimmerman, coming at you live from New Orleans, Louisiana. We will dispense with our formal introductions whenever we have a guest to start the show. If you noticed at the beginning, we have an update on what was going on in Louisiana with some racism going on at a school, and I would like to welcome on back again my friend B and their child Nat. Welcome both of you to the show, Liberal Dan Radio, Talk from Left, that's right. Good to see you both.
Hey Dan, thanks for having us on again, bro. I didn't think it was going to be this soon.
I didn't think it was going to be this long either. The power of Liberal Dan Radio really works if we wanted to.
It not only really works, you were literally the only person who picked it up, and even people from the school knew about it.
That's awesome.
And I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that even what was it? One of the school administrators was watching the show.
Yeah,
when we were talking about
it. I'm not gonna say which one because I think she kind of wants to keep it on the DL. But yeah, one of the administrators was watching. She said that I made wonderful points, and she made me feel very confident in the fact that she is doing what she can. She does not want this teacher at her school, but she has to go through the process of employee services. So she is going to enable me to help do the level 2 complaint with the school board and help us get a little bit further.
And back when we were having the conversation, you were contemplating homeschooling, Nat.
I was.
And there was you didn't feel safe or welcome to school. I don't know if we talked about this part on the show, but you were trying to get Nat back into the other, back in our previous school despite capacity. So what's going on with that?
So they are not able to get him into that school because it's not just past capacity. It's over capacity because I don't know how much people have been paying attention to what's going on in Lafayette Parish, but a lot of our schools have been closing for really weird reasons. Like there's a lot of controversy going on with our superintendent, Francis Touche, who makes more money than our governor does, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Got himself a $120,000 raise last year.
A raise, not just that's not the salary, that's the raise. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, it's. I'm still going to be fighting the school board, and I'm going to be trying to do everything I can to get this particular teacher the discipline that they deserve, because they do not have any business having any type of what do you call it?
Authority over children?
Authority over children, yes.
There you go. That's a good
Sorry,
one.
every time I hear authority, I think of Cartman and Respect My Authority.
Respect my authority. Yeah, anyway. So. You're my cheesy poops. Anyway, so and Nat, it's good to talk to you. Good to see you again. Tell us about first of all, why you felt it was that important to actually do the protest, and how also. Go ahead. Go with that first and we'll ask some more questions.
She said that she had given me permission, especially in text, to do a protest. I'm pretty sure I have the text, but I won't get it at this moment. And it was like, I support my mom's beliefs and believe them too, and I wanted to show support against how ICE was treating immigrants across the country in multiple areas.
I also think you ought to bring up the fact that you yourself are not Caucasian.
Yeah, I am not Caucasian. I'm European.
He is Cambodian. He is mixed. He is Jewish, like I am, and he is Caucasian. So he's kind of a Heinz 57, but you can tell he's definitely he's definitely not a white kid. Right. Not even a little bit. Y'all can see.
not like my opaque self. Translucent self that I have, at least as you described it.
There's no Casper here.
Yes. So, and then
I do look like a cadaver.
Did you get any did any of the students feel like joining you? Did you get any pushback from any of the students when you're doing it?
He didn't get any pushback. He did get a few fist raises and people that were just silently supporting him, and it did turn out that the teachers themselves supported him. But what I did not realize is parents can get permission for a protest, but they do need a permit because the student needs to be supervised.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was something I misunderstood in the thing. So I will take full blame for that. But still, the fact that I had to do that at all, or he felt he needed to do it at all, is also something that I don't think that they should have required someone to supervise a child standing outside a classroom with a sign. Like, he's literally standing there. There's nothing to supervise.
Yeah, I didn't even have a sign. I was just standing.
You did.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, my kids are like that too. They can't remember what they did two hours ago, let alone days or weeks ago. So that's what happens. You know, can't even remember what I tell them to do like 15 minutes ago. So it happens. But,
and this one definitely ADHD, just like his mama.
Both of mine.
Yeah,
both of mine
sometimes
there.
I forget I'm holding something. I start looking at it.
I am self-diagnosed ADHD squirrel, and so I, absolutely understand how that goes, and both my kids have the diagnosis as well. So we definitely know how that goes in this household as well. So, anything else you want to throw in there, Nak? I mean, you got the floor. You're here. Anything you'd like to tell the liberal Danimals out there?
Well, I mean, what should I go over? Should I go over certain incidents?
I mean, I wouldn't say go over certain incidents, but like, you didn't do this just because you believed in what I did. You did it because you felt that it was the right thing to do.
Yeah,
and that's why you asked
it
for
is the
permission.
right thing to do.
Yeah.
So talk about that. Talk about why you thought it was the right thing to do.
Well, I've seen a lot of I've seen personally videos of like how ICE officers have treated immigrants, and like I've seen immigrants who like went on newses and podcasts, people who like actually survived these incidents, who like talk about what was happening, how they were treated, it's like bizarre because like it just feels dumb on how other people treat other people, like it's just because of skin color or how their voice sounds or just what they look like in general.
One of the things that Bea told us, was that one of the things that kind of got you into it was the fact that Alex Preddy was also Jewish, and as such, that really kind of hit home for you. Do you feel that as well? Like, does that still ring true? Because I mean, whenever things happen with to our people, it tends to really strike home and strike a chord. So, which kind of segues, I guess, to the next part.
And I did let him know about that we were going to be talking about that too, because yeah.
Because I got to wake up to that today, and we had
the full-on anti-Semitism that Jews in America are going through because of the crap that Trump is doing with Netanyahu. Everyone thinks that we are automatically supportive of Israel and Netanyahu because we're Jewish, and no, that's not how that works.
Not at all. You and I are both very vocal in our stances against the actions of the Israeli government. We absolutely despise that, and we hate the fact that not only are they claiming that they're doing it in the name of Jews, but that other people will kind of paint all Jews with a broad. I mean, that's the story of our lives, of our history. Constant history. We're to blame for everything that not just some Jews do. We're to blame for things that they make us do, and we're to blame for things that we had no part in to begin with because we make good scapegoats, apparently.
We're to blame. They try to kill us. We kill them. We eat. That's pretty much Judaism in a paragraph.
Sometimes we don't eat. Sometimes we take a break for a day from eating, and then we eat some more. So, and they call it a fast, but it really doesn't go by that quickly, especially when you're looking forward to the good little notes.
It seems like it takes forever.
Exactly. And of course, they're sitting there questioning, what's, we're not going to talk about the motives or whatever. We know what the motives are. It was a synagogue. the guy doesn't like Jewish people, therefore he was attacking a synagogue, you know.
And he doesn't like Jewish people because he believes what he's hearing, that is the anti-Semitism, and not what they're trying to claim as anti-Zionism, and also the fact that they don't understand what Zionism actually means is another problem I've really had.
Well, there's so many different definitions of Zionism that go on in any way in this, you know, in the world, that it's kind of hard. It almost becomes meaningless, because what is Zion? I mean, if you ask somebody from Hamas, is Liberal Dan a Zionist? They'd be like, absolutely. If you ask Benjamin Netanyahu, is Liberal Dan a Zionist? He'd say hell no, because again, they have different views as to what the whole thing means, and it's very convenient to use as a slur when you feel it's appropriate, when they feel it's appropriate. So, but go ahead.
Yeah. To me, and I think to most Jews that I know, Zionism is just our right to have a safe place to live. Yeah. That doesn't have to be Israel. It really doesn't. It can be any place. It's just a place where we know we are safe, a place where we can have self-determination. That is what Zionism is.
And even if it was in the Levant, you know, even if it was in that area, it doesn't have to be a standalone, solely only Jewish country. That is, it could be a secular country where we are safe to go. And, you know, every year at Passover, which is coming up soon, us Jews pray about, you know, next year in Jerusalem. It doesn't mean we're the only ones who need to have access to Jerusalem or any other place else in the area. Absolutely. It just means that we want to go there and you know, celebrate our heritage and celebrate with the other people there, without
and literally every Jewish person I know, especially like the Jewish people, my Jewish family in Israel, they love their Palestinian friends and their friends in Gaza, and they've been protecting them and trying to make sure they have safe places to go. And that is Judaism to me. That is, we not only help ourselves, but we love everyone around us, and we try to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to have a great life.
And that's the difference. Even though they like to talk about this word of Judeo-Christian, which I reject. There's no such thing as Judeo-Christian.
I hate that word. I hate that word.
I mean, you have the three main monotheistic religions that are out there, and two of them basically say, if you don't follow what we tell you, you're going to go burn in hell, or something bad's going to happen to you. With Judaism, we don't need you to keep kosher. We don't need you to follow the 613 commandments of the Torah. We just want you to be good people. Treat your people, what some people call the Noahide laws. Treat people like, you know, they want to be treated. Follow the golden rule. Don't do horrible things to other people, and we're good. We don't need you to convert.
The way you want to be treated.
And if you want to convert, fine, convert. That's awesome. I mean, we're more than happy to have you.
But we're not going to push on you.
Right, we're not going to push. We're not going to tell you you're wrong for not doing it. And, you know, at the end of the day, we just all want to, you know, well, a lot of
in fact, I'm wanting to say, because I did grow up Jewish, but because I was a patrilineal, I did have to go through a conversion.
Right.
And even though I had grown up in that synagogue, I still had to go and ask twice before I would be accepted for conversion.
Yep.
Like they make very sure you are ready to be Jewish before you're even allowed to think about being Jewish.
Meanwhile, if you want to be a Christian, just dunk you in water, boom, there you go, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
And apparently all you have to do is just say I'm sorry and you're automatically forgiven.
Yeah, we have to fast. We have to sit through services. We have to sit here listen to the whole Nidre. We have to do a whole bunch of stuff before at the end of every year to get the forgiveness and be written in the good book, so to speak. So anyway, but yeah, we you know, there's going to be more that comes out about this. Of course, when it says, "Oh, the FBI is looking into it," I'm like, "Oh, wonderful!
Wonderful!
Cash Patel is really going to make me feel confident that they're going to, you know, find."
Yeah, I'm sure Crazy Eyes is going to do a great job walking around in his $145 two big floor chimes that Trump made all his buddies buy.
and also in his, like, you know, personal sex plane, apparently, because that's a thing. But you know, yeah. You know, we'll deal with that another time. But yeah, so I don't necessarily.
My son's over here looking up stuff about Ben Shapiro, bro, and I'm just like, no, don't even.
No, I'm trying to find a certain story and I just came up about this. That's stupid.
Oh, Ben Shapiro anoints himself Pope of the Jews on YouTube.
Oh.
What? What?
This was 3 years ago. It's time to find.
Apparently, this is a YouTube video from 3 years ago by the Majority Report.
I don't necessarily think that somebody who thinks that certain things should. Well, I don't want to go into what he.
Yeah, no,
What he
I
doesn't
mean,
understand, but that is no business
hope
being
that-
Pope or be our Pope.
I
Not that
hope
we have
to
a
God
Pope,
that's
but
satire. I really hope that's satire, but you don't know in these days.
no,
Like,
you
it's
don't.
just-
Absolutely not. So
Like I feel so sorry for Ben Collins because The Onion can't really publish anything right now because real life is more insane than anything they can come up with.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like he's actually started publishing true stories because he doesn't have anything crazy enough to match the actual current news stories.
No. With what's going on in this administration, it's absolutely terrible. But anyway, let's go ahead and I do want to thank you both for coming on the show again. If there's any other updates, you're more than welcome to come back.
Oh, absolutely. And bro, I just want to tell you, I thank you so much because you having me on your show, it got the story out. People listened, they paid attention, and I think that made a real difference in that meeting today.
Oh, and look, I'm so happy to do it. I was happy to do it regardless. And look, I'm just so.
And I just realized you had actually asked me earlier about whether he was. So he is going to stay at the school he's in right now. They've put him in a different class. The teacher will no longer be involved with him. The teacher is to avoid him. Like they are not allowed to have any contact with each other. And if she does say something to him, he's to go directly to the principal. So we've set up like a safety plan, and they are also gonna help him regain the loss of schoolwork from me having to feel like I had to keep him home for his safety. So like they pretty much agreed to everything I wanted.
That is excellent to hear. I'm so happy to hear that. And look, all of us here at Liberal Den Radio, Talk from Left to Right, our listeners, the Danimals, we're all, very happy for your family that you were able to get something done. And then,
thank you,
glad I
Danimals.
could be a part of it. And Nat, very proud of you for stepping up and setting the example of how people should be standing up and speaking truth to power. And carry that with you and continue doing the right thing because clearly you have good parents who are raising you right. And
thank you. Let's say one more quick thing to you real quick.
Yeah,
sure.
It was what I was trying to look up earlier because I remember seeing a video. It was from a story from a long time ago where the Jews were trying to stop the Pope from kicking them out. So the Jewish rabbi had a silent meeting with the Pope, and so here's how it went. The Pope held up 3 fingers, the Jewish rabbi held up 1. Then
wait, is this that joke? I think that's a joke. That's the
no, it's a joke. It's like
okay, yeah. We can talk about that later.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. But again, thank you both for coming on again. Thank you for the update and Mazel Tov for being able to get traction. And again, I'm so happy that I could play a little part in helping that happen.
You have no idea how grateful I am to you.
So we could do a karaoke duet one time if you're ever in town or whatever, and
absolutely.
I'll get you you can get me a daiquiri or something.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to be bringing my best friend down in a few weeks, and we're going to be hitting New Orleans, so I will take you up on that.
Absolutely. Let me know because I definitely want to hang out with y'all. So
absolutely.
Have a great rest of your day, rest of your night. Again, good to see you again, Nat. Good to see you, B. And you'll have a great one.
All right, sweetheart. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, everyone. That was B and Nat, and good. It's just awesome to know that we're here at the show. We were able to do something meaningful and productive, and I can't tell you how good that makes me feel. Just just the fact that I had a positive influence in the story, and having this show. And I wouldn't have this show. I probably would have given up on this show a little while ago if it wasn't for y'all, for you, the listeners, the watchers here on Liberal Dan Radio, Talk from Left to Right. You make it so that I want to come do this show. You give me the strength to come here and do it all the time with your support, with your helping out with, you know, the algorithm, with your just being in the chat and taking part, and all of the great things you say to keep me hyped up. And the fact that you all are, you know, have kept me in there has enabled me and us to be able to help be in that, and hopefully we'll be able to help more people in the days, weeks, months, and years to come. Small podcasts like this can still do great things, right? So that's why we're going to keep on trucking along. We're going to keep plugging along at this. And, you know, I want to thank each and every one of you for helping that out. A Trusted Every Game, I don't think I heard the context of this, of the main story, which was, I did a show on this last week. Was it earlier this week or last week, where, you know, B's child protested, got in trouble with the teacher. The teacher has been treating the child in a very bad way before the protest, and then there was some butting of heads with the school. But it took B coming on my show, them coming on my show, and actually having some of the people locally to them in Lafayette, Louisiana, listening and watching the show to be able to see the cogent points that she was making, and because I was able to give her a platform to talk about what they were, you know, talking about, something happened and we got stuff to move. We got the earth to move. We got, you know, progress, and now Nat can go back to the school, can have the whatever it is that they need to be able to be successful for the remainders of the school year. So wanted to go ahead first of all, and also thank you, Bill. I noticed that you keep having to renew. It keeps canceling and it keeps saying new member, but thank you, Bill. And thank you, Teresa, for being a liberal Danimal. Appreciate y'all for doing that. And Jolie has been a liberal Danimal for 26 months, which basically means we've been monetized here on YouTube for 26 months, and that's crazy. It feels like it was very much more recent, at least, where that we were able to pull that trigger and get that monetization, be able to start putting the badges out there, being able to start having the super chats and the super stickers and all the good fun stuff. So thank you, everybody, again, for helping make that happen as well. So, yes, Glayson back, maybe. Yes, there was, if you want to rewind the stream, you could watch the beginning part, but basically the short story was that one of the teacher of the Nat, who was the student who was on there, basically was saying some racist crap in the text message or whatever, and making my friend B's child feel unsafe at the school, and as such, they felt that they had to pull their kid out. And then because they came on the show, again, wheels got turning and we got stuff done. Nobody else in the media felt it important to deal with that. And, you know, I'm sitting here, and one of the comments that was made on B's status about this that happened today was simply the fact that the media, especially the local media in like Lafayette, Louisiana, has this problem to where if they don't report on it, then they can't see it, then it doesn't exist. And I was like, well, that has to do with the fact that their president feels the same way.
If Trump can't see it, you must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. Object permanent, a milestone missed. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist.
So apparently it's not just Liberal Dan Radio, the jukebox on the show. It's when people post things on other people's comments, I'm just automatically, I grabbed the whole ass video and was like, boom, there you go. Here's my video about that as well. To everybody who's new, we're still waiting to see if we're waiting on how to end up, because I do remember yesterday. It was just yesterday when we had a whatchamacallit. We had a I said something about me needing a muse to create a new song for Liberal Dan Radio Talk from Life. That's right. Guess what? We have a new song that's ready to premiere for the Sparklers and all of the people who are in the Sparkler verse. So as soon as the raid happens, we will play that song. We're not going to play it yet because I don't want to have to worry about playing it again. Although you might want to hear it a second time because, you know, I think it's rather good. The mods have heard it. Aaron and Jolie have heard it. And I do have to... It's taken me a couple of shots to try and remake the video because, again, AI sometimes puts stupid things in the video, and they also do things like, you know, misspell words. They had one of the people who I had in there looking completely wrong. I mean, not that they could get real people who are not politicians and their exact likeness, but some of them were pretty good. I managed to make the AI engine make me look like the same me from the Liberal Dan intro video, so that was pretty good. I'm kind of learning AI as we're going on with this as well, but we will be talking about that as soon as the sparklers come in and then raid. But until then, we have other things to talk about. Let's see, let's pull this up right here. So I did forget to record that one, which is unfortunate, but this thing needs to be its own video by itself and not a clip. So we're gonna make this own little recording right here. And if you remember the other day, I was talking about the Louisiana Senate race. And in the Louisiana Senate race, you have basically three main candidates on the Republican side. You have Bill Cassidy, who is the individual who is currently the senator from the state of Louisiana. You have Congresswoman Julia Letlow, that's obviously a congressperson representing one of Louisiana's districts. And then you have the treasurer of Louisiana, John Fleming, who is also running. And John Fleming touts himself as being like kind of like a MAGA hipster, like he was MAGA before MAGA was cool. Not that MAGA was ever cool, but I guess it was to him. And she ran an ad that was like, you know, just a generic ad. But then I also heard her run an ad that was talking about things like, you know, if you are somebody who's having a problem with any federal agency, please reach out to my office. Now, I'm listening to this show in New Orleans. She doesn't represent New Orleans whatsoever. Not one bit. But she's like, if you have a problem with a federal agency, please reach out and talk to me. And she's playing these ads statewide. Why she's playing these ads statewide? Because it's the same thing that happens that every politician does. They have these congressional funds that they can use to spend to communicate with their constituents, be it with radio advertising, TV advertising, or just mailers. And so they'll do that. But they seem to conveniently only want to do that when you have... They seem to only want to do that when you have an election going on. But in that in that type of advertisement that we heard before, guess what? That advertisement was constituent services, even though she was reaching out to constituents that weren't her constituents. But yeah, I don't understand. Let's see. Hold on, let's check my mic level. I did. Oh, it went back down again? I hate this tool. Whatever. But anyway, it should be better now. But again, I don't understand why it keeps auto-adjusting. It's a pain in the ass. So, anywho. So, and so these people are reaching out to their constituents, people who are not their constituents. But look, if it's still offering constituent services, like, for example, if you're having problems with a federal agency, please reach out to me. I can't necessarily say this is a violation of the rules, that this is a violation of a law, that this is an illegal expenditure. However, I heard one today, this morning on the radio. And we're going to listen to what I heard today, this morning on the radio. And you tell me if this seems like a constituent service or if this seems like something that's a campaign advertisement paid for with congressional funds. Have a listen, shall we?
Julia Letlow. She's done a great job.
Parents should always have a seat at the table when it comes to their child's education. Here in Louisiana, we are honored to help President Trump keep America safe.
A promise of real change, real progress, and real investment. And today, that promise is being fulfilled by the Congresswoman Julia Letlow.
She's done a great job.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
And as soon as I was like, oh, this is just a regular campaign commercial. It's got Donald Trump, it's got Lindsey Graham, and fine, you know, it's campaign season, it's starting up. But when they played this part...
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
What? How is that legal? I even messaged Jeff Carrere, and I was like, did you hear that ad that happened at the bottom half of the hour? Did you hear what it said? That can't be legal. And he basically agreed with me and said, nope, that absolutely is not legal whatsoever. We can look at the rules on these expenditures. Advertisements. Ordinary and necessary expenses related only to the following types of advertisements are reimbursable. Ordinary and necessary expenses related only to the following types of advertisements are reimbursable. 1. Notice of personal appearance of the member at an official event where the member sponsors and hosts in support of the conduct of the member's official and representational duties to the district from which he or she is elected. 2. Notice relating to the nominating process to U.S. military academies. 3. Notice relating to officially sanctioned competitions. 4. Notice of employee and internship openings. 5. Notice of the address, location, and contact information, including web presence and email for the members' congressional offices, which that first ad that we talked about, I think, would fit under 5. And 6. Notice of town hall meetings, physical and virtual. The member's photo or likeness is permissible in an advertisement promoting the live virtual meeting itself while it's being held on the corresponding platform. 7. Notice relating to a member's representational program as defined in the office expenses section of the member's congressional handbook. 8. Notice of a legislative update defined as one or a combination of the following extraneous language is prohibited: the name of the bill as originally sponsored by the member, how the member voted on the bill, the aggregate House vote tally on a bill. 9. Notice of constituent services available through the member congressional office. So again, maybe it's 9 is that it fits. Assistance in contacting and working with federal, state, and local agencies, information regarding visiting U.S. Capitol and congressional tours, how to request presidential greetings or congressional acknowledgement, how to participate in a survey related to the member's official representational duties, how to request a flag flown over the Capitol, or how to subscribe to the member's e-communications program. Advertisements, along with the embedded links and landing pages associated with them, will be subject to review by House Communications Standards Commission and for an advisory opinion. The FCC disclaimer is not required for online advertisements, and relevant photos are permissible. Online advertisements may be linked directly to any .gov or House of Representatives hosted website, so long as the content of the landing page is compliant with both of the website content regulations and the person or party criticism regulations. This includes issue-specific pages and other non-advertisement category pages. Advertisement are subject to House Communications Standards Commission blackout dates, except in cases of congressional art competition, officially sanctioned competitions, military academy nominations, employment listings, and information in the event of a disaster. Contact the House Communications Standards Commission at 59337. There are restrictions on mass communications within 90 days of an election. Advertisements may not contain a photo or likeness of the member. So you tell me, do you believe that the Congresswoman Julia Letlow followed the law as it pertains to this advertisement that she just played? Or do you believe that she violated the rules and she cheated and used our federal tax dollars to promote herself in campaign season, even though she's outside maybe of 90 days of the congressional election? Let's see. Let me look that up real quick. What date is the Louisiana Senate primary election? Upcoming Louisiana election dates. Party primary, municipal primary is Saturday, May 16th. So I think she's not even within the 90 days. I think it's well within the 90 days as well. So she's violating the law twice. She's not using congressional funds properly, and she's advertising within 90 days before an election, unless they mean general election, in which case that's November. However, this is clearly a violation of the law. Clearly. And I don't think she's going to win the primary. I think even though she has the endorsement of Trump, and even though she has this campaign commercial advertising, her endorsement of Trump, Trump saying she's doing a great job, I think it may more likely be Fleming than Letlow. I don't think it's going to be Cassidy who makes it out of the Republican primary. I think he's toast because of the fact that he voted to actually convict on the articles of impeachment and did other things that President Trump didn't like and other conservatives did not like as well. Thank you, CSL, for letting us know. But anyway, again, this is a clear violation of the law, in my opinion. And I think we may very well be reaching out to the Congresswoman's offices to discuss those things, and maybe we'll even reach out to the the committee that has to do with this and be like, hey, can you give us some more information as to why this was allowed to happen? And maybe she needs to reimburse the federal government for this expenditure, because it clearly, in my mind at least, is a violation of federal laws as it pertains to how to spend our money. And look at it. It's a Republican. It's a Republican spending money that are our tax dollars, because they don't complain typically when they do it. But can you imagine if a Democrat, or specifically Joe Biden, had done that?
Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would flip. Had Biden done it, the screen fell play. But Trump did it, so it must be okay.
And I did see your comment, adjusted every game. I just was in the middle of my flow, and I didn't want to interrupt the flow, but I did give you that as well, because it's the Liberal Dan Radio Jukebox. Songs from the left that are right. Or I don't think that flows as well as talk from the left that's right. Anyway, so there you go. And Josh C's great point. Maybe I'll reach out to the opponents. Maybe I'll reach out to Cassidy and Fleming. Maybe I'll reach out to John Frankie Hires, because he's been on the show talking about his campaign. I don't know if he officially got on the ballot or not because of the hinky rules that they have, but I'm gonna reach out to anybody who's running for this office and say, hey, one of your opponents has, in my opinion, violated campaign laws or the laws of the House of Representatives, or at least the rules of the House of Representatives, and have spent your tax dollars in a way that violates House ethics rules, at least in my opinion. So y'all can let me know as well. Y'all can even reach out as well and let me know if you have any traction in doing that. But anyway, and again, follow, like, subscribe, share, etc. So anyway, so there's that. Apparently, we do have an incoming Twitch and YouTube raid in a few seconds. I don't want to get too deeply involved in another topic that would be too long. I guess we can... There's not too much out there that can be said about the other attack that happened today, which was the attack on Old Dominion. But we have 1 dead and 2 injured in a shooting at Old Dominion University in Virginia. 1 person has died, 2 others are injured in Norfolk, Virginia. A shooting that the FBI is investigating as an act of terrorism. Of course, the FBI is investigating it. So do we have any faith that this guy is going to give us good results? Just like this guy would, I don't have any faith that this guy is going to give us good results on the attack on the synagogue in Michigan as well. I don't think so. But, you know, it is what it is. Oh, wait, that's Trump's line. I'm sorry.
It is what it is.
Thank you, Donald. So, but yeah, this guy is responsible for the investigation of both the attack on the synagogue and the attack on Old Dominion University. So, do you have faith that that Mr. Bug Eyes is going to do a good job with that? I don't. The suspect was also killed in the incident on Tuesday. The FBI identified the alleged gunman as Mohammed Baylor Jallow, a former Virginia National Guard member who had previously been jailed for trying to support the Islamic State group. Jallow allegedly opened fire into a classroom, and some students were able to subdue and kill him, said Dominique Evans, special agent in charge of the Norfolk FBI field office. The students subdued him and rendered him no longer alive. That is a weird way to put it, adding that he was not shot, without providing further details. What, did they beat the ever-living crap out of him? Did they choke him? What did they do? They were members of the Reserve Officer Training Corps program, which combines college coursework with military leadership training. 250 kilo ohm, FBI head, eyes of fear. I don't know if that's eyes of fear, or maybe that's eyes in fear. I don't know. Just show that on Halloween and scare your kids. Officers first responded to reports of a shooting inside the classroom at Constant Hall, the university's business school building. University Police Chief Garrett Shelton said on Thursday afternoon when the suspect walked in, he asked if it was a ROTC class, and after someone answered in the affirmative, he opened fire, law enforcement sources told BBC US partner CBS News. When officers arrived, they found the gunman was already dead. FBI Director Kash Patel said the shooter died thanks to a group of brave students who stepped in and subdued him, actions that undoubtedly saved lives along with the quick response of law enforcement. I mean, it wasn't that quick if he was already dead by the time law enforcement get there. And look, I'm not going to say that these students were in the wrong. Good for them for taking out a terrorist. The only good terrorist is a dead terrorist. It's just you have to make sure that they are terrorists first before you actually start bombing the crap out of them, unlike what Donald Trump did, dropping a fucking Tomahawk missile on a fucking school. See, 2 of the victims were Army personnel. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll said on social media, "I'm praying for them and all that impacted by this terrible event," yada yada. 2016, Jallow was arrested and pled guilty to attempting to provide material support to the Islamic State group. FBI Evans said he was sentenced in 2017 and released from prison from 2024. When asked what kind of aid Jallow was given to the ISIS group back then, Evans said he wanted to conduct a terrorist attack similar to the 2009 attack at the military base at Fort Hood that killed 13 people. Evans said Thursday's shooting is being investigated as an act of terrorism because the suspect his prior conviction because he allegedly shouted Allahu Akbar, an Arabic phrase that means God is greater. Before the incident, there was no mention of the war of Iran. The shooting came hours before another incident in Michigan while a vehicle rammed into a synagogue and school. There, all children and staff were severely executed, yada, yada, yada. So, and we already talked about that a little bit earlier on the show. But yeah, so 250, his eyes, it's a clinical thing. Is it? I don't know. Speaking of, let's bring this down here for a second, because while this one may not have had any links or attacks or whatever as it pertains to, the attack in Iran, this little tidbit right here, just should show you how terrible of a president we have. Our president is absolutely a piece of shit, and here's why.
They say it's an evil country, and it's been for 47 years that way.
And if they try to hit us back, have you been briefed about how many Iran sleeper cells there could be inside the U.S. right now?
I have been, and a lot of people came in through Biden with this stupid open border.
Again, the only thing stupid about the open border is the stupid claim that Biden wanted an open border. But, that being said, let's continue.
But we know where most of them are. We've got our eye on all of them, I think.
If it doesn't...
We know where most of them are, and we have an eye on all of them, we think. Does that inspire confidence in you right now that Donald Trump knows where most of them are and thinks that he has an eye on them? Like, what?
They came in through the open border policies of Sleepy Joe Biden.
You know how he's lying? Besides the fact that his lips are moving, he has to repeat the same lie over and over again in the hopes that you'll believe him, because if he says it enough, it'll be true magically.
One of the worst president in the history of our country.
Every conservative accusation is a confession, including that one, especially that one.
And we've got our eyes on all of them.
We've got our eyes on them. We're not doing anything about it. We know where they are, but we're not moving in. What are we waiting for? I don't know.
But the war itself is being prosecuted at a level that nobody's seen before.
Like nobody's ever seen. Levels no one's ever seen. Of course, it's a war now, but it wasn't a war before. And then it's now again a war, but then later it won't be a war. It's an excursion or this or that. Whatever name he wants to throw in it. It's like Schrodinger's war. It's a war. Isn't it a war? Who knows? Clearly it's a war. But a legal war because he's not dealing with Congress and trying to make sure to have the authorization to take the actions. As he says.
It is what it is.
Thank you, Donald.
It's pretty amazing to watch.
It's pretty amazing to watch. It's pretty amazing. Oh my God. Like how dumb of a president do we have? I mean, yeah, he claims Biden was the worst president. No. You clearly are the worst president by miles and miles and miles. It's absurd how dumb we were as a country to re-elect this piece of garbage to the Oval Office and to this position. Sorry, eyes wide with fear, increased sclerovisity is universal involuntary survival response that triggers the brain amygdala signaling danger. Yeah, but did he get that scared by simply taking a picture? So, hello, sparklers. Thank you for coming in. DB Golding, good to see you. Party of 101 sparklers. Appreciate you. Welcome to Liberal Dan Radio. Talk from the left, that's right. We are here again live every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 8 p.m. Central. And here for your viewing pleasure after Hal finishes up. Glad to have y'all here. Appreciate y'all. I'm trying to wait a little bit. I do have a surprise. Thank you, Ali Osher, for the bits. Appreciate you. I do have a surprise. I'm just trying to wait to see about having the raid come in on YouTube. So let's see, because usually the YouTube raid comes in a little bit slower, more slowly than the Twitch raid. So, but I do want to thank everybody. I mean, if you're over on Twitch and you haven't followed me yet, please make sure to follow me. Please make sure to do so. I'm sure if you're House Sparks fans, and our sparklers, I'm sure you have already used your Prime account to be able to get Amazon Prime free subscriptions. But if for some reason you haven't, you can always use Amazon Prime and also pop that over here and anyway shows Liberal Dan Radio some love. But thanks everybody again for the Raiders now who have come in on YouTube as well. I'm not noticing the viewers numbers go up, but we do have the viewers coming in. Debbie 904, much love to you, Hal. Thank you so much for helping us do this all the time. Let's see. Now would be a good time to insert ads. No, YouTube, I am not inserting ads. I'm sorry for the Twitch folks. Y'all get ads. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if y'all don't have the paid subscription or whatever. Y'all get the ads, but I do not want to interrupt. I actually looked up the rules and how it works. Simply, how the whole thing works is that if you are on YouTube and you get an ad and you're listening live, you do get interrupted. So that's why I don't play ads live during my show, and I think Hal does the same thing as well. So, and if I'm going to follow somebody and how they to try and be successful myself, why not follow in the footsteps of Hal, right? Speaking of which, now that we have everybody here, please make sure to smash that like button and subscribe button over on YouTube as well. If you've listened and watched on Liberal Dan Radio Talk from Left, That's Right before, you will know that we have music videos. We have original music that we create many times, most of the times using AI. So I created a new song just last night pertaining to the Sparkler verse, and I would love for each and every one of you before. I muted myself before I actually wanted to mute myself. We're going to have the video up on YouTube. I'm sure we're going to have a whole wall of text. Your volume is off. Your volume's off. Anyway, I realized that I screwed up there for a second. But anyway, so here is the new song called Welcome to the Sparklerverse. You're hearing it here first on Liberal Dan Radio. Talk from the left. That's right.
Tonight, breaking down the chaos with humor and light. From Megan Worldwide to the nerd hailing things, leading the charge in this live stream age. Welcome to the Sparklerverse tonight, where the smart talk lands and the jokes take flight. If the world's gone weird and absurdly terse, come laugh it out in the Sparklerverse. Liberal flair, Stephanie Miller crafting truth on the air. Punchlines flying like fireworks in June. Intelligence cutting straight through the gloom. Then Liberal Dan arrives with rhetorical might, bringing you talk from the left. That's right. Hypocrites and rednecks he will smite, but that after dark show is nowhere in sight. Welcome to the Sparklerverse. Please subscribe, cause the trolls get toasted and truth survives. It's a worldwide bar for the curious mind. Pull up a chair, you'll fit just fine. Boston Brian spitting facts wicked high. They're calling out nonsense right in the eye. If they take gate logic, can't back the car. Then he dunks on bad takes like a Sox all-star. Fill up in there, bringing the world to view. Frontline updates straight from Ukraine to Rob Glenn, up and out of the digital sea. Talking AI and what it might be. Farrah Dublin with the writer's eye so keen. Turning breaking news into a biting scene. Trucker John rolling in through the night. And don't forget the mods who keep it alright. Different voices, but all refined. Different hours, most of the time. United and cutting through the news. All cheered on by the Sparkler crew. Welcome to the Sparkler verse tonight. Where curiosity keeps the lights on bright. Smash that like and come to converse. We're broadcasting live from the Sparkler verse.
So, what do you think? The new song from Liberal Dan Radio, Talk from the Left, that's right. There's a couple of inside jokes in the song, specifically for the people who have been watching Liberal Dan Radio, Talk from the Left, that's right, for a while. Especially the fact that I've been teasing at a Liberal Dan After Dark, a more uncensored type show, maybe a little more raw, little less restrained than we might be or whatever. So a little bit of that. The other thing of, sometimes some of us are not on different times, that some of us kind of conflict with each other, whatever. Anyway, but I try to throw in as much as people as possible while making it, a short enough song where I can actually put it in through the AI generators and get it done. So if you liked it, first of all, make sure to give it a follow over on Twitch. Make sure to like the current video on YouTube and also subscribe as well. Smash those two buttons, and then be on the lookout, because the music video for that is going to be up live, hopefully at some point, if not tonight, some point tomorrow or over the weekend, and we'll probably play that video again on Monday's show as well. So welcome again to the Sparklerverse, and welcome all of you sparklers here to Liberal Dan Radio, Talk from the Left, that's right. 177 viewers, 46 likes. Please make sure to smash that like button. It helps the algorithm, and as we all know, Al Gore needs more rhythm. So let's see, Zen Fairy, Adrian, Jolie, Debbie, Jennifer, good to see you, Jennifer. Jennifer's new video that I helped her produce with AI will also be available at sometime soon up on my channel as well. Hello, Damon Dog, good to see you. Blue Salami, did do the Charlton. I kind of did the Carlton. Did you mean the Charleston or the Carlton? But I did do a little bit of a dance for you, because I guess I'm a dancing monkey on top of being a jukebox as well. Let's see. God, who else am I missing? I think I saw Big Hook earlier. Good to see you, Big Hook. And tons of people who are in the show. I think Trucker John, I think I saw Trucker John as well. I was watching Trucker John earlier. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, please make sure to do so too. He's definitely one of the Sparkler crew. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Trucker John gave me a bit of a challenge earlier today or something like that, because we were talking about all sorts of different songs, and we're talking about Blackbird, written by Paul, and he didn't believe that it was written by Paul. He thought it was a George song. And then brought up Something. I have a funny story about Something by the Beatles, because at karaoke, it's one of my go-to songs at karaoke, is to sing George's Something. And so I will do that. But one time I went to a different karaoke place than what I usually did, and I put in Something by the Beatles, and they put up Hard Day's Night. And I was like, I wasn't ready to do Hard Day's Night. I don't even know if I can do it. I did fine, but still, I was just like, I hate you. So, also, because of all the sparklers that are here, I do want to thank y'all very much, because over the weekend, my youngest son, who just turned 13, because of y'all help following him over there on his channel, he now made affiliate over on Twitch as well. So I now have a child who is a paid Twitch streamer. So, but yeah, the other thing that Trucker John was talking about is he talked about all the different people, all the different ways and people that people have covered this song, Something. And I've never done this before. I have sung Louis Armstrong songs. Another one of my go-to songs is What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong, and I sing it like Louis Armstrong, and I've won a karaoke contest with it, singing it like Louis Armstrong. And then, so I mean, there's like a Frank Sinatra version of something. There's lots of different people have done something. I'm sure Louis Armstrong. So Trucker John's like, I bet you that Liberal Dan can do a version of something as performed by Louis Armstrong, which is, yeah, I think Elvis also did a version of it. It's the reason why I'm trying to dunk all this water down, because I have to make sure to have that. Let's see if I can get this done, because I've never done this before, so I'm probably going to screw it up, but something in the way she moves attracts me like no other lover. Something in the way she moves me. I don't want to leave her now. You know I believe in how. Anyway, that's it. Usually it's me doing Louis Armstrong and singing, I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. So that's usually what I win karaoke contests with or whatever, but that was me trying to do something. I don't know. Again, I've never done it before, so I don't know if I hit it right or not, but don't want to make myself too raspy or whatever. See, that's the first song chosen from Awake, What a Wonderful World. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Roxanne. Yeah, if you go to my YouTube channel, which is nerdydan.com on YouTube, so nerdydan, D-O-T-C-O-M is the username, so nerdydan.com spelled out. There is a video of me. There's a video of my winning performance, but I think the better performance was on the previous cruise ship, where I got second place to this guy who did Tennessee whiskey and just like coming straight out of church or whatever. Like, it was amazing. Like, up until the point where he got up and started performing, I was looking at my wife like, I think I got this. I think I got this. And then all of a sudden he starts singing Tennessee whiskey, and I'm like, I don't got this. There's no way that I am beating this dude. He absolutely killed it. And I recorded him doing it the next night, and he did it just as good the last night, just as well the next night. And I have that video up there. I got his permission to post it up on YouTube as well. And I was just like, dude, you should have been on American Idol. He was like, I tried. I think they lost my submission. I was like, dude, that sucks. So, anyway. What else are we going to talk about? Today on Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. Hey. Lost my screen for a second. There it is. So we covered the Julia Letlow campaign ad. We've covered Old Dominion attack, the synagogue attack. So I did want to talk about this one. Let me, the New Hampshire election race. Wolfboro, Democrat, Boudman wins upset in special election and captures a GOP House seat. In an upset, Democrat Bobby Boudman defeated Republican Dale Fincher to win a seat in the New Hampshire House of Representatives on Tuesday. She won by 165 votes, or close to 4% of all ballots cast. The special election for the seat representing Ossipee, Tuftonboro, and Wolfboro offers an early electoral result ahead of this year's midterm elections, with Democrats hoping to make gains in the legislature and governor's office, and Republicans looking to maintain their house majorities in both state houses. Tuesday result was notable given the district's traditional Republican tilt in 2024. Boudman lost the same race by 14%, so that is a nice swing of 18%. Boudman owns her winning margin this time to her hometown of Wolfboro, where she bested Fincher 1,300 votes to just over 1,000. Fincher edged her out in Ossipee and in Tuftonboro. The vacancy in this Carroll County District 7 seat was declared late last year with the resignation of Glenn Cordelli, a Republican who served over 12 years. Boudman is a familiar Democratic challenger in the district, ran in 2024, lost in the general in 2022. Cordelli also defeated Boudman at 41-19 to 32-03. Tuesday's race was one that both parties were desperate to win. Republicans raised over $60,000 to boost Fincher. Boudman, who worked in music publishing, raised more than $12,000. In a statement last Tuesday, New Hampshire Democratic Party Chairman Ray Buckley congratulated Boudman on her victory. That is opposed to the Marjorie Taylor Greene seat, which is going to a runoff now. So whatchamacallit? Let's pull it up real quick. So, yeah, Democrat advances to runoff in special election to replace Marjorie Taylor Greene. Thanks to a crowded Republican field, the Georgia Conservatives' 14th Congressional District, Democrat Sean Harris earned the most votes in the first round of voting. He made the runoff. Harris's victory in the Republican district was, here's the thing. Here's one of the problems I have with the not just the corporate media, but some of the larger of the other folks who are bigger. I think it was Midas Touch who's had an article or something about this, who had a post on this on Facebook, and they were like, "Look at him! He came in first place! Yay!" And while it's great that he came in first place, and I would love to see him win this election, I think they're a little bit overzealous in counting this as a flat-out victory, because there were 12 Republicans in the field. And Sean Harris did get a 37.3% of the vote, and that's great. But again, the rest of the field was split by 12 Republicans, and since nobody got a majority, the number 2 candidate who was a Republican will now advance to a runoff to replace Marjorie Taylor Greene. District Attorney Clay Fuller in the April 7th runoff election. Fuller described himself as a MAGA warrior, received President Trump's endorsement in the race last month before beating out fellow Republicans Colton Moore, Brian Stover, and Tom Gray. Of course, that may be the more telling thing in this race, the fact that you had a field of 12 Republicans. Donald Trump got the endorsement set out there for this MAGA warrior, Fuller, but he couldn't even get first place in the race, and there were enough people who were Republicans who split the remaining part of the vote. So clearly there are a lot of Republicans who did not like this self-proclaimed MAGA warrior who was endorsed by Donald Trump. Harris lost to Greene for the 14th district seat in 2024, winning MAGA, darling at the time. Marjorie Taylor Greene got 64.4% of the vote compared to his 35.6%. So he got, 1.7% more votes in the election this year, in a special election this year, as compared to the last time that he ran in 2024. That's not necessarily a winning, something that we're going to be great. That's within the margin of error. That's not something I think that we could be overall like, yes, we've got this in the bag. Should we be happy for him that he came in first place? Absolutely. Should we be pushing on trying to help Democrats win in every single district as possible, especially in these times where Donald Trump's policies are being seen as more and more problematic against a slightly increasing few Republicans who are kind of moving away, including Marjorie Taylor Greene herself, who is viewed by some MAGA folks as a traitor to MAGA. Of course, other people, like I've heard a caller to conservative talk radio who was saying that not only is Marjorie Taylor Greene not a traitor, but he was saying that Donald Trump not only betrayed him, but betrayed her with what he's doing. So when I heard that, I was shook out of my mind, but still. See, she broke with him on things like the Big Beautiful Bill and the Epstein files and the bombing of Iranian nuclear sites. Green goes, I have too much self-respect and dignity, love my family way too much. I don't want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterm. She said, it's also absurd, completely unserious. I refuse to be a battered wife hoping it all goes away and gets better. Of course, I think it's weird and ridiculous that Marjorie Taylor Greene, the Jewish space laser woman, would come out and say that something else is absurd and completely unserious. In January, Greene also went on to make a step further, giving an interview where she said that the MAGA movement was a lie, even going so far as to bash Fox News for brainwashing voters. It was a big lie for the people, she said of MAGA, blaming the president for serving big donors and handing out government contracts, pardons, and special favors to his powerful friends and allies. People always think, oh, that's his staff. They want to blame everyone around him, but there may be a point where people have to come to grips that this is Donald Trump. So, I mean, look, I will absolutely sit back and eat a whole big bag of popcorn while listening and watching the conservative folks combat each other. Absolutely, that's good. That will bring me joy. That will absolutely bring me much joy. But still, I'm not going to sit here and forgive nor forget her anti-Semitic comments. Wait, didn't MTG vote for the big bullshit budget-busting beach blonde bad-built butch body bill? That's more than 6 Bs right there. Is that 9 Bs? Maybe she did. I don't know. Did Congresswoman Green vote for the big, beautiful bill? Marjorie Taylor Greene admits she didn't read Trump's big, beautiful bill before voting for it. Now she regrets it. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene admitting that she didn't read something is not very shocking to anybody, is it? Is it very shocking? Are y'all shocked that she didn't read something before voting on it? I mean, maybe that's a good reason why she resigned. So, let's see. Big 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, you were right, Richard. It is 11 Bs. Because you added 2 extra Bs than I thought. They're atrocious in every game. Can you imagine if Biden had, left out 2 Bs?
Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would flip. Had Biden done it, that scream foul play. But Trump did it, so it must be okay.
And so what else is going on in this great, big, wonderful world that we have going on right now? Again, Donald Trump says that he was briefed on sleeper cells. He knows where they are, but he hasn't acted. Now, do you remember the 21st night of September? Anywhere. On and on. Do you remember when Donald Trump was talking about how he wanted to ban large corporations from owning single-family homes? Do you remember that? A lot of people were sitting there questioning that. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, that's great. It's wonderful that he wants to do something good for single-family homes and not let these big giant corporations, get this money." And we here at Liberal Dan Radio, Talk from the Left, That's Right, didn't buy that for a second. That was a whole bunch of we don't believe Donald Trump when he says anything, let alone believes that he actually wants to do things that are going to help, middle-class workers, people who are trying to own their homes, trying to make housing affordable for people, even though he ran on affordability and then said affordability was a hoax. We don't trust anything that comes out of his lying mouth. So what did he say? I think this is from last week, his first cabinet meeting of 2026. They're having a conversation about housing, and we're not going to watch the whole thing, but we are going to watch a brief little segment of it when we're going to hear Donald Trump say this.
And existing housing, people that own their homes, we're going to keep them wealthy. We're going to keep those prices up. We're not going to destroy the value of their homes so that somebody that didn't work very hard can buy a home. We're going to make it easier to buy. We're going to get interest rates down. But I want to protect the people that for the first time in their lives feel good about themselves. They feel like that they're wealthy people.
They feel like they're, not that they are wealthy people, but they feel like they're wealthy people. But yeah, he clearly, we call bullshit on him and his beliefs that, he's going to try and, make it better for people to buy home. No, I mean, he's going to lower interest rates, but he's going to keep the prices high so that only the wealthy people can afford to buy the home. So he may want to stop, big corporations, maybe. Again, I don't believe that he will, but I'll believe that when I see it. But again, he wants to keep housing prices high, which then makes it less likely that lower income or middle income people who didn't work for it, didn't earn it. What is that code for, right? He wants to make sure that the wealthier people get wealthier and that the poor people stay poor. Same thing's going on with oil. He has no problem with the fact. He says that oil prices going up are good. It's good for America. It's not good for American, people who are living on their fixed budgets, on fixed incomes, and who have to make a decision as to whether or not they can drive or they can, go buy food and buy groceries, or have to buy, what do they have to deal without now that the price of gasoline is going up, now that the price of oil is, again, reaching over $100 a barrel. What are they going to do? What are these poor people? He don't care about the poors. He doesn't care about the working class people. He doesn't care about the middle class. He cares about the wealthy, the rich. He looks at the people who are the oligarchs, or should I call them oilgarchs. He cares about them and making sure that they get money, because I'm sure he has some nice investments that he'll be able to profit off of. as it pertains to that. So he loves to see the price of oil going through the roof because I'm sure he's making bank because of it with all the many other things. And then, of course, he talked about, the other day, we talked about his plans that he says for the Strait of Hormuz, as they call the Straits of Hormuz, because I'm convinced that he believes that there's gays of Hormuz somewhere. I love the Straits of Hormuz, but not the gays of Hormuz. But the Straits of Hormuz, we're going to keep them safe. We're going to keep them protected in the Straits of Hormuz. Anyway, so he wants to protect the supposedly protect the ships traveling through the Strait of Hormuz with the U.S. Navy, as he claimed. But has he done this yet? No. And Iran has managed to, even though he claims to have been successfully taking out all of the people, all of the drone striking and missile striking capability of Iran, clearly they haven't done it completely, because Iran has been able to take out some ships. And there's, ships burning or whatever. And it's like, oh, we're going to make it so that they have, insurance on the ships so that if they get sunk, they get sunk. And then what happened as soon as Donald Trump said this? Because a lot of times he'll just speak garbage out of his mouth and just, have verbal diarrhea and say that we're going to do something. And then his staff has to go try and scramble to try and figure out how to get his stupid shit done. So apparently, according to MS Now at least, he had his own staff calling up like Lloyd's of London and other insurers that operate out of like England and Europe, who are usually the ones that handle such things, and say, what do we need to do to create our own insurance company? Like, they're going to want competition and they're going to help you. Really? So then, instead of doing that, they decide, oh, maybe we'll do reinsurance instead. Maybe we'll reinsure the insurers to make sure that they can have some sort of stop loss available. Because if you're not familiar with the insurance industry, you have insurers, and if the insurer wants to protect their investments, they will take some of the money that they've taken as premium and buy reinsurance to say, okay, if this particular claim goes higher than a certain amount, then we are going to get reinsurance, and then we're going to pass on those costs to them with this little bit of an amount. So then they were trying that. Of course, the shocking thing, the thing that shocked me the most about this story is not Trump's stupidity, not that he, gives an idea first and then they have to scramble to try and figure out how to get it working properly, if they can do it at all. Out of nothing, think Doge, for example. Complete failure, cutting necessary things, but only saving us a little itty-bitty bit of money, so much that it's inconsequential in the amount of money that we're going to have to cost in the long term to make up for the, shit that he's doing, is probably going to make the Doge savings go away, and then the cost even go up for Doge. But oil companies, these, or at least the shipping companies, said that even if we're insured, we don't want to leave port because we don't want our ships taken out. Like, they're worried about the actual people who work for them. Like, they actually said that they're worried about, they don't want to lose the lives of the people who work on these ships. Can you imagine that these big billion billion-dollar corporations are actually more worried about their employees than they are Donald Trump is? I mean, maybe you wouldn't be surprised about that. But even my cynical view on it is less. Maybe they're less worried. Maybe they're less worried about the actual lives lost, and they maybe don't give a shit about the individual lives lost. But they could think, well, if we don't take actions that are going to protect the workers and are going to put our workers in harm's way and might make them die, then they won't work for us to begin with, because they won't want to get on the ships, and then we won't be able to hire people. We won't be able to do the jobs that we need to do. That's probably the more likely answer as to why they're worried about the lives of the workers who work for them. But still, even if you want to give them the benefit of the doubt, which I don't know why you'd want to do, but even if you did, still, they're more worried and concerned about lives lost than Donald Trump is, who is more worried about money that can come in. To them, to MAGA conservatives, it's more important to make money than it is to save lives. And we've seen that in the EPA. We've seen that in many other examples of policies of this administration. See, Rita Ward says he's basically for slumlords, and I don't even like it. I'm having a hard time trying to figure out exactly what Trump meant when he was talking about how he didn't want to have large people buying up single-family homes. Like, to me, a slumlord might be somebody who might buy up like an apartment building in like in a poorer neighborhood, and then just sell it out or whatever, you know, and do as minimal things you could do to the housing as possible while getting, you know, Section 8 money or whatever. But we knew here that Donald Trump wasn't serious about trying to make it easier for people to buy homes. He wants the people who already have homes to not have their housing values go down, because he probably wants to protect his own homes and make sure that his housing values don't go down. And if it benefits anybody else, that's just an added whatever. I don't even call it a benefit to him, because he probably wouldn't view it as a benefit. It's just not, if it doesn't hurt him, he doesn't care. So, see, Lloyd's of London started insuring ships hundreds of years ago. They have many shippers that share losses at sea, so a loss would not wipe out a shipper. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the people I think they contacted was Lloyd's of London. But yeah, thank you, Jennifer, for liking on YouTube. But yeah, let's see. What else? 56 nicknames. I bought an Iraqi taxi in 1997, a standard Chevy Safari van. That was a great space. Wish I still had it. That's weird. See, no one should or have a choice or chance to be rich like him. This is belief. That's his. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't want people to be, you know, again, the rich and the wealthy, the billionaire folks don't want to make it easier for other people to be billionaires, but they will convince you that one day you can be with hard work and sacrifice. If you only let these funds trickle down and let me show you how it works, and then one day maybe you'll get rich as well. The odds of you becoming a millionaire via the lottery, I think, at this point are, it's more likely to win and become a millionaire via the Powerball or the lottery than it is for you to become a millionaire through your hard work and sacrifice. I mean, I'm sure there are going to be some people that say, well, I did it. Well, great, good for you. You beat the odds. Mazel tov, go buy a Powerball ticket. You would have been more likely to get there with a Powerball ticket. So, let's see. That Spree says to me, if they had $90 billion to spend by the year end, they would have no idea what the budget is for. Yeah, dangling a carrot. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Bill, I just celebrated my 50th anniversary going to the VA. I can tell you some stories. Wow. I think I'm missing half of it. Oh, Big Hook. All that lobster money that Keg's breath spent should have gone to fund the VA. God, these Republicans are stupid as fuck. Well, you know, you do have a point there. Donald Trump did say that he loved the poorly educated after the 2016 Nevada primary. So, and they laid off over 10,000 VA workers. And I know a few people who work for the VA. They fortunately were not laid off, but still, both of them, I think, are looking for other options because they're not happy with where they are at the moment. Thank you, Alyosha, for the bits. Yeah, trickle down applies to water. I think when Donald Trump hears trickle down economics, he more hears of thinks of the Russian hookers in the P-tape and that thing trickling down, right? Let's see. Boom, bada boom, bada boom. What do we want to talk about next? Is there anything else that's on my list? Oh yeah, there's this. Before we're going to open up the phone lines for at least a little bit, but we're not going to do it quite yet. We will, let's see. Has to move from Texas. So let's talk about this for a second. I don't know if we're going to record this one or not, but waiting for this page to load. Hold on, let's do it this way. Or maybe we'll do with this article as well. There we go. I was starting to almost worry that I might have lost internet or something, but we're good. We good. So, as we all know, all of these states that are red states are passing healthcare bans for trans folk, and many of these healthcare bans. Let's start this again because we're going to record it. We know that these red states, Republican states, have put in trans healthcare bans, basically banning kids from getting, bottom surgery, top surgery, whatever. And look, kids aren't getting bottom surgery, and the only people that are kids that I know who've gotten top surgery are not people who've done it for transitioning purposes. It's people who have, gotten procedures because they were, having back pains and they needed to get reductions to make their back pains go away. But some of the things that are involved in these bills. And I brought this up previously when I called into shows like Jeff Carrera's Ringside Politics program, that these so-called gender-affirming care bans will hurt kids who are cisgender kids as well. So what is going on in this? A Texas family struggle to obtain medical care for their special needs child exemplifies the way anti-trans laws can hurt everybody, not just those as identify as a gender other than what was on their birth certificate. Gabrielle Jones Radke, who lived in El Paso, Texas her whole life, is now being forced to move to New Mexico so that her 7-year-old daughter can more easily receive the puberty blockers she needs to treat her Bardet-Biedl syndrome, a genetic disorder that has caused her to enter precocious puberty. Precocious puberty basically means you enter puberty early, which you want to stop, you want to prevent if that starts happening. Jones Radke told the Texas Tribune that her daughter's pediatric endocrinologist, Dr. Hector Granados, the only person providing youth hormone care in all of El Paso, stopped prescribing puberty blockers after being sued by anti-trans Attorney General Ken Paxton for allegedly violating the state's gender-affirming ban. Remember, it was Ken Paxton who also, with their draconian anti-abortion laws that prevented somebody who was in the middle of a miscarriage from having having it fully terminated via surgery because there was still a detectable heartbeat, and therefore he wouldn't let the hospital do it. So she had to flee the state to be able to get the care that she needed, and now you have another person fleeing the state of Texas to get the care for her child that they need. Granados was handed an injunction banning him from prescribing the blockers to trans youth or from providing false diagnoses such as precocious puberty so that his patients could continue their care. The situation resulted in Granados stopping prescribing the puberty blockers altogether. The case against Granados was ultimately dismissed, but Jones Radke doesn't even know if he has resumed prescribing puberty blockers or not. She has already left his care due to the long wait times at his office, spurred by the lack of pediatric endocrinologists in the area. I think the passage, as well as the enforcement of the gender-affirming care ban, is likely making it harder to attract pediatric endocrinologists to the region. Granados attorney Mark Bracken told the Tribune, we've made a lot of headway and improvement attracting more specialists and more doctors, but there's a long way to go. In short, doctors are scared and are even limiting themselves from offering hormone medications to cisgender kids for reasons unrelated to gender identity. Jones Radke says, I love Texas. I don't know why you do that, but right now it doesn't feel like they love us back. She added, when you have a child with special needs, gray areas are not your friend because your entire life is a gray area. Having something I can rely on is extremely paramount to her care, and if her doctors are too scared to do the job, what the heck am I supposed to do? The lack of pediatric endocrinologists in the area has also resulted in the child struggling to obtain another critical medication that helps her control her overactive appetite because of her disorder. Without the medication, Imcivree, Jones Radke said the consequences can be incredibly deadly, causing issues with her kidneys. We can get the care she needs because all the we can't get the care she needs because all endocrinologists are scared to do their jobs. Attorney General Paxton continues to enforce stricter laws against trans Texans. Last week, he declared that it is even illegal for mental health care providers licensed by the state to affirm trans youth, and doing so is child abuse. Trans news site Transitics said Paxton's opinion can be interpreted as essentially requiring mental health professionals to either refuse to see young trans patients or else engage in conversion therapy. The opinion states that the therapists have an obligation to help children overcoming an underlying condition, which in this case is gender dysphoria. Paxton has spent his tenure as Attorney General terrorizing the trans community. In 2022, he issued a non-binding opinion calling gender-affirming healthcare a form of child abuse, which led Greg Abbott to order the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services to investigate for child abuse any parents who allow their trans children to access gender-affirming medical care prescribed by their doctors. In a post at the time, Paxton called gender-affirming care and puberty blockers, which has been shown to reduce lifetime suicide risk for trans people who have access to them before puberty, monstrous and tragic. Of course, in this particular case, it is not somebody who is trans who is being prevented from getting puberty blockers for the health care that they need. It is somebody who is a cisgender individual who has entered precocious puberty, who needs this medicine to be able to treat that condition. And I called it before. I said that this is going to happen. You're going to have kids in situations where you have precocious puberty, where you have them entering puberty early, and they're not going to be able to get the care that they need from their doctors because these laws are overbearing and harm more people than just trans folk. And as such, this is yet another example of these Republican policies hurting kids, hurting real people, etc. So, Jennifer, I used to be proud to be a Texan. I love the state, many people, but now I want out. Ali Osher says, by the way, I was a karaoke and live band karaoke singer for 6 years. Great variety, made over 850 altogether. That's pretty awesome. And exactly, DB Golden, kids are going to self-harm. As we've talked about this on the show as well, the more individuals who, for each individual who affirms a trans youth for who they are and not what their birth certificate says that they are 50% less likely to commit suicide for every single person that supports them. So again, if you're mathematically challenged, one person is 50% more likely, two people adds another 50% off of that, so it's 75% more likely, yada, 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 so on and so forth. It's not saying that two people are needed and they're 100% not going to commit suicide. It's, you know, but that's how math works. And we understand that some people don't understand math. So, to Rita, only rich people have choices, and this is done on purpose. Exactly. Politicians making medical decisions for you in the doctor's office is unconstitutional. Well, it should be unconstitutional, but I don't know if it is. But again, as James says, they don't give a fuck. Jolie, I can't emphasize how much I despise Republicans and their disgusting policies. The party of smaller government wants in on healthcare decisions that are none of their effing business. Preach on, Jolie. Anyway. Speaking of this, Biden's speech at the LGBTQ people forum, where he told LGBTQ kids that they are loved, was really good. Of course, well, you know, because Biden is a good person, and now we have somebody in office who is not a good person whatsoever.
Here we go. Let's do it the hard way. But the hard way, I think, is probably the easy way.
And he's a dumb motherfucking moron, too. So anyway, we have opened up our phone lines, 562-LIBDAN1, 562-LIBDAN1, 562-542-3261. If you want to beat Big Hook to it, you got to dial their numbers real quick. Again, 562-542-3261 is the number to call in if you want to talk to me, Liberal Dan Radio. Talk to me, Liberal Dan, or, you know, talk to the Liberal Danimals. You have a point to make, you want to argue with me, whatever you want to do. I'm more than welcome to have your phone calls. Be loved to have you on. You may, otherwise, Big Hook might call in, and we'll probably spend at least a few minutes on the phone. We probably won't last much longer than 10 p.m. today. That just gives you an example of, you know, I'm a little tired today, but I did want to make sure to have a show because, wanted to make sure that we, if we're going to have a Sparkler Raid, I got to be here for the Sparkler Raid, right? And then I also had to make sure that the Sparklers got to hear the new song, because I'm very excited about that new song, and I want to make that video and publish it out and have y'all love it, and maybe even get, you know, other people like Hal and Boston Brian. I know Chuck or John will play it. Maybe even Stephanie Miller would play it for the Steph heads. That would be awesome. And I know Andrea Mod's over there as well. So we'll see if that happens. But let's see. DB Golding, not only do they need parental permission, but also that 2 doctors and 2 child psychiatrists with no surgery until 18 unless they are attempting self-mutilation. Exactly. The odds of you actually getting bottom surgery specifically, or even top surgery for a young trans kid, is not going to happen, because normally when they do surgical transitions, they want you to be A, over 18, and B, on hormones for over a year, and they won't give you the regular hormones. I'm not talking about the puberty blocker hormones, I'm talking about the regular hormones. They typically won't give you the regular hormones until you're 18 anyway, so you're typically not going to have an opportunity to start physically transitioning until you're 19. So Bill says, I'll call in next week. I'm sick and my wife made me shut up. Some of the best wives do, don't they? They at least know. Dan's in New Orleans. Yes, I am in New Orleans. That is my city. That is where I live. I'm in the west bank of the Mississippi River, but where I am is actually more of the, I'm south. Like, in order to travel across the Mississippi River Bridge from the east bank to the west bank, you actually have to travel southeast to get to the west bank. I think that makes sense, right? Oh, there was something I wanted to talk about before we actually got to the phone calls. So I mean, you can feel free to call in, Big Hook. But Louisiana name. This is according to the Shreveport Times. Louisiana advances bill to name Mississippi River Bridge after Donald Trump. Louisiana Legislative Committee has advanced a bill to name a proposed new Mississippi River bridge after Trump. State Rep. Michael Echols believes naming the bridge after Trump could help secure his support and funding for the project. The proposed bridge's location and $3 billion in funding have not yet been finalized. The bill passed the committee on a 12-2 vote and now moves to the full House for debate. How sad that is that we have to bribe President Trump by naming shit after him. This is how childish this president is. This is how, you should want to make sure that the funding happens for needed infrastructure because it's needed, not because you're going to have a fucking name put on it. But I guess the Republicans in the Louisiana legislature figured out that the best way to get money for your projects is to, kiss Donald Trump's rear end and not worry about whether or not what you're kissing is something that's been shat on or not, because multiple times he's shat his pants. But yeah, at least that's what we believe, right? But yeah, the Republican Monroe State Representative Michael Echols, House Bill 221, would name the bridge connecting Louisiana Highway 1 and Louisiana Highway 30 as the President Donald J. Trump Expressway. The final location for the bridge hasn't been approved, and $3 billion in funding to build it hasn't been secured, but Echols believes attaching Trump's name to the project could spur the president's support. Whether you like him or not, if you put his name on something, you get his attention. I mean, he's true. He's telling the truth right there, which is, shocking for a Republican, but he understands. He likes to build things. This is a big bridge. It's the biggest bridge like nobody's ever seen. Nobody's ever seen a bridge just like this. He'll make sure that it's the biggest bridge that nobody's ever seen. Of course, the biggest bridge in America is the Pontchartrain Expressway. Can you imagine if they fucking wanted to name that the Donald John Trump Pontchartrain Expressway? That would be absurd. Let's answer this call. There we go. We answered the... There we go. I think I hit the right button this time. Hey, Big Hook, what's going on?
Oh, same as everybody else, running for cover and, hoping that none of it gets on you. It's the way it is.
I'm just sitting here hoping that if they do build this bridge and get it named after Donald Trump, I hope it's the most graffitied bridge in the world, because I hope people just write all sorts of fuck Trump on it all over the place, because there's no reason why we should be naming bridges after living presidents who are currently serving, and there's no reason why we should have to fucking name something after him to try and secure funding for it. But at least they understand how the government works under Donald Trump. It's give him something and he'll give you something, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm rather impressed how Mamdani played him, though. To get the protester, that student released. He went in there with a fake headline in a newspaper there saying, and Trump should build housing in Queens and whatnot. And, you're such a great builder, Trump. And it's like, all he does is he puts his fucking name on other people's work. I mean, fucking, what do you do with that? Grifting of the highest order, can you imagine all those buildings that have his name on them, and, they automatically depreciate in value, and then you're going to be forced to take his name off of it afterwards, and then hope that you can get the lowest price possible for anything that's offered. I mean, I don't know where you go with him. He really is the worst, I mean, there's nothing redeeming about him. Everywhere he goes, corruption, death, scandal follow him everywhere. He looked at Nixon and said, "Hold my beer," exactly, and went to town. I mean, what do you do with that?
I don't know. Maybe they should name the bridge the Trump Epstein Bridge, and then maybe more people might support it, because then it would be trolling him instead of whatever. But he probably wouldn't go for that at that point. But then
that's just it. I mean, he's got nothing there. That's the thing. I don't understand how Republicans connect with him because I mean he's the worst of the worst in terms of the grifters, unless they're like, oh yeah, when I grow up I want to be just like Donald Trump. I want to be a grifting racist piece of shit as well. You know, I mean, I want people to roll their eyes at me all the time. You know, I mean, like how freaking stupid could you get? You know, I mean, you know, I don't know.
Stupid.
Well, that's it. You know, I mean, like the intelligence level is just not there. They don't follow politics. What they follow is Fox News, which is basically fake news. You know, I mean, and it's all meant to basically rile them up and get them emotionally engaged in fake issues that don't exist, whether it be the trans issues or immigrants. And it's like, you know, like, leave these people alone. You know, all they want to do is work and be left in peace. I mean, and the thing is that they all supplement everything that you have in your life. You know what I mean? They build your houses, they pick your fruit and everything else, right? I mean, there's nothing that they don't do. I mean, what do you do with that?
Right.
I mean,
let's see. They think Josh sees in the chat goes, they think he's a mover and a shaker. They like the way he dances. That's probably because they fantasize being either the left hand or the right hand. I'm wondering when they like the dance. I wonder if they imagine a particular hand or if they wouldn't care which hand, you know, does the whole, you know, 1, 2, whatever.
Yeah, but the thing is, as well, is that in the end, you know, like, for example, the Democratic states are the ones that are actually putting money in the system, which the red states then go and leech off of.
Yep.
You know, I mean, and that's just it. There's, you know, it's ridiculous how they try to run this through and everything else, and it's like, you know, you're biting the hand that feeds you. I mean, I don't know how much more stupid you could get than that.
Right. I mean, don't challenge them though, because they will get much stupider if given the opportunity.
Well, no doubt about that. I mean,
and the more stupid they get, the more problematic that things will get, because he'll just keep on, you know, feeding off that stupidity, because again, he loves the poorly educated. So.
Well, that's just it, you know, and I mean it's frustrating beyond all means, because you have 1/3 of the population that are that dumb. Then you got the other third who actually participate in democracy, and then you've got 1/3 of people who don't participate in anything. And, you know, that's 90 million voters that refuse to use their privilege.
Right.
And that's frustrating beyond all means, because they can fix the problem, but they've seen that the system fails them all the time.
Right.
And that's just it. It's kind of hard to see why you should participate when all attempts at fixing things have failed, because the Democrats fix it and then the Republicans repeal it. And you're left with what? You know? It takes them 4 years to get shit fixed, and then it takes the Republicans less than a year to rip it all down and take it away from you. You know, I mean, I don't know what you do with that. You can't. You could call it stupidity. You could call it insanity. You could call it whatever you like. All I know is it doesn't work, and you've been doing the same thing for the last 50 years, and you haven't fixed anything.
Right.
You know, and it's beyond frustrating, because you can't do anything with it. You know, you've got, and within every session of Congress, you've got traitors amongst your own group, who, whether it was Manchin and Sinema in the Senate or in the Congress, you've got 7 corporate Dems who fucking torpedo anything that can possibly put a check on this megalomaniac's power. They could have passed the War Resolution Act and shut the war down right away and made apologies and
don't forget
gotten
Fetterman.
the world.
Don't forget Fetterman. He's out there too.
Yeah, I think that stroke really did a number on him. He's not in his right mind. I mean,
nope.
That's just it. Someone said before, Texas Paul, I think, said it best. He said he's a giant who's probably got maybe at best 10 years of life left.
Right.
And he has to basically build his nest egg as best as he can by catering to the worst out there, so that way he's got something for his wife and kids to retire and build a better life for themselves with, and I mean, that's the thing. That's how easy it is to compromise these people, because everything is all about money, and until you get money out of politics and get the lobbyists out of fucking Washington, you're playing a losing hand of blackjack every fucking time. I really wish I could be optimistic and say, and the thing is you've got, you've only got the Dems to be able to count on, but, you got too many people that are compromised by money. And, whether it be Schumer or whether it be Jeffries or whatever, I mean, and I don't know. Like Texas Paul says, yeah, but you have to elect everybody Democratic, and it's like, yeah, but there are people within the Democratic establishment who are going to torpedo the good things or diminish what the real solution is to a workaround, which basically still works in the favor of the rich but fucks with everyone else. I mean, and what do you do with that?
Right.
And I mean, the only thing I can come up with is that explains why 90 million people don't vote, because they look at it and they go, you know what? I have to come up with my own solution because I can't count on the government or the politicians to do anything for me.
Right.
And
but the problem is, I mean, I understand that. I mean, I understand being disenfranchised and feeling disenfranchised by the government, feeling that your vote has no power, especially the more and more they gerrymander, the less and less power that you have as a voter. But still, that's not an excuse. Like, I live in a state of Louisiana where I know that, I mean, except for maybe for John Bell Edwards, where I was shocked that he actually beat both Vitter and Rasponi, but I know that my chances of me having an outcome on the vote is either going to be slim to none because I'm in a district so gerrymandered that nobody but a Democrat can win, or I'm in a state that is so conservative that nobody but a Republican can win. But that still doesn't prevent me from voting. Go out there, cast your vote, and so to me, like, that's one thing I disagree with George Carlin, one of George Carlin's bits, where he basically blamed the people who do vote and not the people who don't vote. And I'm like, no, that's stupid. Blame the people who don't vote, because if enough people got out there, you could actually make a change possible. You just have to do it, and you have to do it right. So
yeah, but the question always was with Carlin, there were times when he would say really bizarre stuff, and you would say, is he saying it because he actually believes it, or is he saying it for comic effect?
Maybe.
And that's just it, and I mean, that's the thing. Maybe he says it just to prove that, he could be just as stupid as the motherfuckers that ruin things for everybody else, and I mean, that's just it. It's a horrible pickle to be in, but unfortunately, there's nobody coming to the rescue, and you can blame others, but and people will say, well, why don't you run for office? And it's like, yeah, because I don't know enough criminals that will give me enough money to be able to run for office. And I mean, that's the story there in in a nutshell. I mean, I have my opinions. Unfortunately, I can only do what I can do, which is, I can give as much money as I can afford without risking my own welfare to charity, or do whatever is possible, help people in their time of need, or better yet, do what I do here, which is inform people of what I see and what I feel, as well as what facts I can provide to back up what I see and feel. I mean, but outside of that, what else do you do? I mean, that's what your platform is all about, is about, putting it out there and making people think. And that's the thing. People are not thinking. And that's what, not to go off on a tangent or anything, but that's what I'm so afraid about AI, because it's going to shape how people fucking think. That's where I'm really worried, because they will go and turn to AI for answers, and it isn't necessarily facts that are coming out. It's coming out as to what we think we want you to hear, and and they can paint the evidence in such a way that you will believe what they want you to believe. I don't know.
I get you, and I do have to apologize. I am starting to crash a little bit. I am starting to feel it, and I have a couple things I want to do before
no worries. I went on too long anyway.
No,
but
don't worry about
I mean,
it.
that's just it. I want you and your audience to know that I come to this with a clean conscience, knowing that what I say is largely true until somebody proves me wrong.
Right.
And that's just it, Try to put out the truth, or at least what I see as the truth. And the thing is that you are in such a pickle right now, because there are only certain forms of the mainstream media that you can actually trust anymore. CNN is going to go.
Yeah.
CBS is going to go. I don't know if ABC and NBC are going to be the only ones that are going to be out there that are going to provide anything. And, with his control of the FCC, their licenses are going to possibly be revoked as well.
That's why
and that's a scary.
That's why we need the Sparklerverse, right?
Yeah, I know. Anyway, I'll let you go. I'll let you go, Dan. I feel for you people. I really do. I got my fingers crossed. I'm praying for you as much as I don't pray, but I'm
sending us
doing
good
what I
thoughts and
can.
wishes.
Good thoughts and wishes is all I can offer, I guess. That's
Appreciate you, man.
What I can do, unless you find your way up here in Canada and pursue a better life like we do. Anyway, take care,
right.
everyone.
Bye. Bye. And everybody, that was Big Hook, and we have closed up the phone lines again, because as I said, I am feeling a little bit, just as I'm starting to hit that, plateau and going downhill at this point, being very tired. But anyway, so thank you, Jolie, for sharing all the links on how to support the show. Channel membership, super chats. You can Venmo Liberal Dan on Venmo. Just do friends and family. You can patreon.com/liberaldan or patreon.liberaldan.com. Either way gets you there. You can, but the most important thing, especially if you can't afford all of the stuff that are going on in today's society with the price of gas and everything, just comment, go to YouTube, go to liberaldanradio.com, comment on videos, like them, respond to other people's comments, share them to your social media channels. Cosmic Rose has been doing a great job over on Blue Sky, just taking a whole bunch of my stuff and just retweeting it, reposting it, everything out there. That's all you got to do, and that'll help get the algorithm up, get more subscriptions up, get the word out about Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left. That's right. So appreciate each and every one of you for joining us today. We will be live again unless something big happens Monday, 8 p.m. Central here on Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left. That's right. That's right, Donald. You keep telling yourself that. But we will go ahead and listen to the new Liberal Dan Radio music. And we'll play maybe one or two before we end the show, but I didn't even play that audio because I was on mute, so let's play it again one more time because we missed it.
But the hard way, I think, is probably the easy way.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you, Molly. Appreciate you. Hey, JD Christie. Good to see you as well. Rita, thank you for joining. Again, if you haven't subscribed after coming over from the raid over on Twitch, please make sure to do so. If you haven't smashed that like button, please make sure to smash that like button outside of, as you're heading your way out the door. Again, helping the algorithm helps out because Al Gore needs more rhythm. So until next time, same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you so much. Have a great one. Peace.
House Sparks running boy on the mic tonight, breaking down the chaos with human light. From making worldwide to the nerd hailing things, leading the charge in this live stream age. Welcome to the Sparklerverse tonight, where the smart talk lands and the jokes take flight. If the world's gone weird and absurdly terse, come laugh it out in the Sparklerverse. Live in the mornings with sexy liberal flair, Stephanie Miller cracking truth on the air. Punchlines flying like fireworks in June, intelligence cutting straight through the gloom. Dan Liberal Dan arrives with rhetorical might, bringing you talk from the left. That's right. Hypocrites and rednecks he will smite, but that after dark show is nowhere in sight. Welcome to the Sparklerverse. Please subscribe, cause the trolls get toasted and truth survives. It's a worldwide bar for the curious mind. Pull up a chair, you'll fit just fine. Boston Brian spitting facts wicked high. You're calling out nonsense right in the eye. If they take gate logic, can't back the kind. Then he dunks on bad takes like a Sox all-star. Fill up in a bringing the world to view. Frontline updates straight from Ukraine to Rob Glenn, upping out of the digital sea. Talking AI and what it might be. Farron Dublin with the writer's eye so keen, certain breaking news into a biting scene. Trucker John rolling in through the night, and don't forget the mods who keep it all right. Different voices, but all refined. Different hours, most of the time. United and cutting through the news. All cheered on by the Sparkler crew. Welcome to the Sparklerverse tonight, where curiosity keeps the lights on bright. Smash that like and come to converse. We're broadcasting live from the Sparklerverse.
They said follow the road, so she did. Greeted by the lollipop guild, sleeping in the poppy fields. Thought she finally found her friends, Lion, Scarecrow, Tin Man. Lion brave when it paid well, Tin Man cold as hammered steel. Said the heart was there all along, funny thing the wizard was wrong. Promises rehearsed and sold, painted dreams in carrot gold. Follow the yellow brick road, do exactly what you're told. Smile nights to play your role, and your courage to control. Follow, follow, isn't fun. Every everybody marching one by one. Scarecrow talking way too fast, head completely full of grass. So she told him kiss her ass, left him in her blazing past. Down the wizard, what's his face? Ordinary, just and lit. Tell me what kind of nitwit needs to decorate his shit. Follow the yellow brick road, paint a Chinese hell the code. Ring the buzzer, never ring, hear the silence sing. Follow, follow, toe the line, truth adjusted over time. Enough, she said, I'm done. The road was lit by lunacy, voices looping in me endlessly, haunting every step she made. Wicked witches always fade. Then her voice broke through the land, thunder no one really planned. Flying monkeys hit the ground, rusty gates came crashing down. What difference would it make? How much more can people take? No more yellow brick command, lightning rolling through the land. One red shoe before the next, she just walked away. Turns out they're the ones who need her on this.
Obama and Bush's pictures got hidden, obscuring the past, history rewritten. Hung in a hallway where no tour can see, confirming is an ending fragility. If Trump can't see it, you must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. Object permanent, a milestone missed. If Trump can't see it, he must not exist. The testing was the line that he said. Hundreds of thousands needlessly dead. Now HHS is run by brainworm quack, hiding the truth behind his back. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. An administration run by narcissists. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. Documents stacked floor to the wall, top secret folders in a bathroom stall. Charges were pressed, but the case was dropped. A corrupt judicial system he can co-opt. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. He'll swear it's fake news, a liberal twist. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. Encampments downtown, tents lining the street. Invisible people that power won't meet. Hide them away so the cameras can't find it. Proof of a system that's cold and unkind. A chaotic secret, an NDA sign, an illegal bribe. Michael Cohen fine. Trump got fined too over his gag order, but she didn't gag, cause he was much shorter. If you can't see it, it must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. We can't let him win, we must resist. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist.
House Sparks running boy on the mic tonight, breaking down the chaos with humor and light. From Megan Worldwide to the nerd hailing stage, leading the charge in this live stream age. Welcome to the Sparklerverse tonight, where the smart talk lands and the jokes take flight. If the world's gone weird and absurdly terse, come laugh it out in the Sparklerverse. Live in the mornings with sexy liberal flair, Stephanie Miller crafting truth on the air. Punchlines flying like fireworks in June, intelligence cutting straight through the gloom. Dan Little Dan arrives with rhetorical might, bringing you talk from the left, that's right. Hypocrites and rednecks he will smite, but that after dark show is nowhere in sight. Welcome to the Sparklerverse, please subscribe, cause the trolls get toasted and truth survives. It's a worldwide bar for the curious mind. Pull up a chair, you'll fit just fine. Boston Brian spitting facts wicked high, they're calling out nonsense right in the eye. If they take gate logic, can't back the car. Then he dunks on bad takes like a Sox all-star. Fill up in a bringing the world to view. Frontline updates straight from Ukraine to Rob Glenn up in out of the digital sea, talking AI and what it might be. Farrah Dublin with the writer's eye so keen, certain breaking news into a biting scene. Trucker John rolling in through the night, and don't forget the mods who keep it alright. Different voices, but all refined. Different hours, most of the time. United and cutting through the news. All cheered on by the Sparkler crew. Welcome to the Sparklerverse tonight, where curiosity keeps the lights on bright. Smash that like and come to converse. We're broadcasting live from the Sparklerverse. Hey, hey, hey.
They wrote it in the laws, ink still bleeds, treating women like soil, just seeds. She's gone, brain dead, not even awake, but the state's got a claim, gonna plant its stake. Say it's God's will, say it's life they protect, but they ain't the ones feeling pain or neglect. From Texas to Georgia, they set the trap, rights rolled back while they smile and clap. Gilead's here, this is true. Hey MAGA fools, they'll come for you too. So I'm gonna jet, see you later. I'm not gonna be a baby incubator. This ain't pro-life, it's control and shame. They don't care if she's gone, just playing a game. Keep her hooked to machines, cold and still, just a vessel to them, not a human with will. No consent, no voice, no chance to resist. Just laws in place, written with a clenched fist. Hospitals scared, judges playing God. Bodies ain't temples, just stay on pods. Gilead's here, this is true. Hey MAGA fools, they'll come for you too. So I'm gonna jet, see you later. I'm not gonna be a baby incubator. Bands in the dark, they don't care who it kills. Sacking courts while they strip out all of your wills. But we'll fight back, march loud, burn bright. Cause this ain't the end, it's the start of the fight. Gilead's here, ain't no grace. And those leopards are coming to eat your face. So I'm gonna jet, see you later. I'm not gonna be a baby incubator. Not gonna be a baby incubator. Not gonna be a baby incubator.
creative director at WGSO, had a little something he thought you should know. When Dan picked on his bits, Steve got real gruff. So Steve called Dan a flake, called him liberal dandruff. Steve thinks that his lines are really clever, but when do people ever like him? Never. Liberal Dan's got better lyrics, this is true. Listen and you'll feel like I do. Liberal Dan, his show is great. Liberal Dan, he goes live at 8. Liberal Dan radio, it's the best, 'cause Liberal Dan's head and shoulders above the rest. Steve's about to find out his mistake. In this feud, Dan's Kendrick, Steve is Drake. Dan might not be the world's best singer, but he's got more talent in his little finger. Steve thinks that his lines are really clever, but when do people ever like him? Never. Liberal Dan's got better lyrics, this is true. Listen and you'll feel like I do. Liberal Dan, his show is great. Liberal Dan, he goes live at 8. Liberal Dan radio, it's the best, 'cause Liberal Dan's head and shoulders above the rest.
He said nobody who healthcare could be so complicated. The Obamacare debate was 6 months litigated. Years of med school debt got capitalized. Insurance claim forms so high they nearly capsized. But he wouldn't know the frustration of trying to get prior authorization. Everybody knew, the whole world knew, the doctors, the lawyers, the CBO crew. Oh, 30,000 pages already reviewed. It wasn't a big secret, we knew. Obama deported, but the porter-in-chief is what La Raza retorted. Obama went after the violent folks and felons, Trump nabbed the dishwashers and people picking melons. But Obama's argument shows that he's not very bright. If Obama made some wrongs, 2 wrongs don't make a right. We knew. He asked who knew a virus could be so contagious. Virologists blinked at someone so outrageous. He was surprised at how many countries existed. No wonder when the virus spread, either one who missed it spread a map, slit red in every deadly hue. World Health Memo said we already knew. Everybody knew. Oh, the whole world knew. Oh, the lab coats, the leaders, and we were with the flu. Oh, the nations of the world, more than 192. It wasn't a big secret. We knew. You unveiled oxygen like contraband air. Right 6 there. You sat down, claiming to discover chairs. War called money was his big surprise. Iraq has oil, can you believe your eyes? He said, we are divided, a surprise to no one thinking. And he was most surprised a Republican was Lincoln. Everybody knew, the whole world knew, the Christians, the Muslims, atheists, and the Jews. Like being shot, they have animals at the zoo. It wasn't a big secret. We knew. Everybody knew. Everybody knew. Everybody knew. Everybody knew.
Trump piled debt, trillions tall. Promised Mexico would fund that wall. Praised dictators, said they're strong. Had Joe done it, they'd say he's wrong. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would flip. Had Biden done it, that screen fell play. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Go through crises, storms, and more. Called soldiers losers who died in war. Hire his kids to run DC. If it was Hunter, they'd scream treachery. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, Fox News would say our day. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Love Kim Jong-un, he wrote love letters that take the guns first, lose those rights forever. Signed you spending bills with glee. Had Joe done that, it'd be tyranny. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they shout up today. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Kept secret files, countless untold. Said Putin's word was good as gold. Invited the Taliban to come to U.S. soil. If Joe had done that, they'd all recoil. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd want him to pay. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Double standards loud and clear. Rules for Trump, but not for peers. What they call treason, if Joe's the name, is patriotism when Donald's to blame. Had Biden done it,